Yo, what is going on, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I'm Ramsey Abushala, editor of UrbanPitch.com. Julio Monterosa, executive director of Vibes. To my left, Julio, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I'm waiting for Gina to leave so I can be VP of Vibes.
VP of Vibes.
I think I can do a better job. I think she's been slacking on her role as a vice president of the role, but I'll talk to the board members, see what happens.
Yeah, we'll do an internal review maybe, and then maybe you can switch.
Yeah, the physical year ends next month. So we'll talk about promotions and demotions.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, maybe you can switch varsity jackets too. So
I don't think I can fit a Asian's medium.
Oh man, it's been a wild couple of weeks in the world of soccer, and you know we were able to get to some of it last week with the solo episode, but. This week, you know, we have some more stuff going on, and so we can get into, you know, some of the coaching carousel that's been rumors. We can get to some of the tournaments that are going on. You know, the European season's coming to an end. Champions League, Inter and Barcelona the other day was insane. A lot to talk about.
Man U earlier today.
Man U, in the Europa League. Yeah,
about time Man U gets to win. I honestly was talking to my friends about. We can talk about it a little bit later, but I was talking to my friends. They're like, "What do you think?" I'm like, first of all, I always go for like Liga teams over EPL, and I was wrong. And I'm happy I was wrong because I'm a Man U fan.
Yeah, and that's so. I mean, this is like their season like savior. You know, I mean, they're I think 14th, 15th in the Prem. The worst finish last year was their worst ever finish. This year's even worse than that. So it'll be good for Man U fans to at least walk away with something this year. They still, granted, have the second leg and the final to go, but a lot of good soccer going on, regardless of what league you're looking at. So it's an exciting time right now in the club football world, and including here in the United States, where the CONCACAF Champions Cup is finally reaching its final stages as well, and we're not going to get a messy final, no matter how much FIFA wants it to happen.
Yeah, the Whitecaps, where did they come from?
Brand new coach this year, Brian White, just having a really, really good year. I just found out the other day that he went to Duke.
Yeah.
So he was teammates with Jeremy Bobassi. Yeah. So they had kind of a squad going on.
You usually don't see like American stars pop out of nowhere. Like you either see their trajectory or they just fizzle out real quick.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of what he's done in Vancouver has gone unnoticed because it was in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Like he's their franchise leading scorer. And you know what he's doing this season is getting more of the spotlight because they are the best team in MLS right now. They just knocked out Inter Miami. Before that, they had Club America. Before that, they had Pumas. Did they have Club America? No, it was Pumas.
Honestly, have not been following them to now. I'm like,
where
did they come from?
Yeah, so they knocked out a bunch of Liga MX teams that are highly touted. So it wasn't like a fluke run. This is not a fluke run.
And then Urban Pitch has a beautiful article online right now where you can read it about their I want to say upcoming, but it's not like they've been there all the time. It's not that we don't feel like what Vancouver is a.
It's definitely been a major step forward.
Yes.
Like they made some strides last year. I think they made the playoffs. Which I mean MLS is not really saying much, but still, they like I said, brand new coach, Sebastian Berhalter, not going to play in the final because of yellow cards, but having a breakout season. Tristan Blackman scored a goal, a former LAFC guy.
He came on the pod as well early.
Yeah,
early
pod days.
Yeah.
So
he got the Urban Pitch boost too.
Yeah, that still counts. That still counts. That was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago maybe. But
I still miss my ex. It was 6 years ago as well.
Yeah. But switching sides, on the other side, now that Messi misses out on another chance for a trophy here with Miami, granted he does have the Supporters' Shield, he does have the Leagues Cup. If you look at the pantheon of American soccer trophies, those are probably two lower tier ones. Like the two highest, obviously, MLS Cup and Champions Cup. I think Champions Cup, I would maybe put a little bit higher than the MLS.
I feel like Champions Cup is out of the U.S., is a real important
Is the
cup.
number one. Do you think it's the number one? Do you think that's, would you
yeah.
rather LAFC win Champions Cup than MLS Cup?
I would.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of talk about Liga MX, MLS. Then there's a little you get to see some of our Central American
Right.
FAS, Alianza, yeah. So I like it because there's always a debate my league is better, and then you can see the lower leagues like El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, where do they stand on the pedestal, I like it way more, and I think this should be marketed even more on how important this is.
Yeah.
Like La Libertadores,
is insane.
The Champions League.
Yeah. I will say it has gotten better the last, I think, 3 or 4 years, to where now this is seen as a major tournament. The fans are showing up in droves. The games are a lot more intense. And, MLS teams are starting to, because it's at the beginning of the MLS season, right? So teams really haven't reached their
full
mid-season
potential
form. They're still trying to figure things out. They're still maybe getting some fitness in with some players who were injured at the beginning of the season. And now that teams, I think, are preparing better for these tournaments, now that they know that they're going to be into it. So it's not like it's taking them by surprise at the beginning of the season. And you're starting to see MLS teams fare better. Obviously Seattle won it. What was it, 2021? And now with the Club World Cup, you get the expanded Club World Cup. You get a spot in the Club World Cup, so that gives you a little bit more incentive for this tournament as well.
Definitely, that's what I'm saying. And then the Canadian Premier League is up and rise.
Yeah.
So I like it where it's coming because Canada has great soccer, Mexico has great soccer, MLS has great soccer as well. If those three powerhouses can get their own Mexico and the U.S. already have it. If Canada can be that little cousin, little brother that is growing up and is becoming 6'2", and your other cousins are 5'7", it would be great because it just brings more competition. It brings more competition, and they have great soccer out there. Some of their good academies like Vancouver, Toronto, they get to play against American teams growing up into the youth level. So I like where it's going. I think they should just be a little bit more promoted, a little better, and let people know, especially the American fan, the importance of this cup.
Yeah. And so now back to Messi, another missed opportunity. Do you think last year they lost in the first round to Atlanta United? Where does that fare? Which loss was worse? And what's missing from this Miami squad, or what's going on? And what did you see?
Yeah, so Inter Miami stuck in old MLS. Besides Messi and Alba, you can't have a team full of older players. Yeah. You've seen Galaxy struggle for a lot. They had Beckham, and they started going crazy with the big name old talent. Yeah. And they didn't win a championship till last year until they got an LAFC guy to run that front office. Yeah. And they brought, well, they did it right. It's like new MLS. They brought young South American, young European talent to contribute a lot to the team. I feel like Messi needs younger players that are a little bit more dynamic to help him out. You see Suarez running on one knee, and it hurts me to see him run. Yeah, he runs his leg, his knee about to give out. Yeah, and it's just so sad because he's probably one of the best forwards ever in soccer history. Yeah. So they need to see that new MLS. They have to have new MLS surrounding Messi.
Yeah, and I think they try to add a couple of younger players in there. Falcon is one. They have another guy
that tore his ACL 2 games in El Salvador. I believe he was a young Argentinian guy as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's hard to names are okay because they sell you tickets, and we can see what the Messi effect in MLS. Yeah. Just BMO getting sold out on a Tuesday.
Right.
It's crazy.
That was crazy. I was in the parking lot line for 45 minutes. And I was losing my mind for that game.
So all right, Messi. It's amazing to bring him Messi. The Griezmann's if we do bring him.
He's not.
I know, but if we do bring big names, but we cannot surround him around other players that are almost past their prime. You need the young players. You need the combination of the big name. Mm-hmm. Plus, probably Galaxy probably had one of the best signings on Ricky Puig because
Yeah.
that's big name, still a lot of talent in his feet,
Yeah.
and you can see how they struggle without him.
Right. Yeah.
People want to say like it's not Ricky, it's a team. No, like if that same team is playing right now, and you add Ricky, they're probably top of the league opposed to no winless.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not winless, I would say.
Yeah.
It's hard because, I mean, they lost Jovic, they lost Delgado, they lost a good chunk of their team as well. So the absence of Ricky in the midfield is definitely felt, but also you gotta give it to some of the other guys that they had. But another thing that people have been critical of is Javier Mascherano, who's first year coach with Miami. Not really. I think he had some youth national team experience going
with Argentina.
into it. Not a very lengthy resume, especially compared to Tata Martino, who left last year. Do you think this is a coaching?
Sharundula came in coaching USL, coaching academy.
Except he had a lot of coaching in Germany, not at the head coaching level, but he had years. Like I think he had 5 to 10 years in Hanover still. Mascherano,
but no real most people like if you don't have like first division experience, that they like counting your experience working in the youth out the window. Or also like Tab Ramos, I think he's one of the greatest soccer minds that we have here. Would have been out here coaching one of these teams.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can put a blame to that. The team is messy and a lot of no names. So it's hard to coach a team. You can be Mourinho in the MLS if you don't have a team to compete is just not going to be good.
Yeah, but I will say this, that there's a learning curve when it comes to coaching, and it doesn't matter how good of a player you are or how like good of a football mind you are. There is across all sports. I mean, you've seen like Frank Lampard went to Chelsea and basically zero coaching experience and had a terrible run at it. I think he had a small stint at a championship team. Then they brought him on. There's like, okay, you did your 6 months. Like, we can bring you up now and still make this a credible signing. And he did not do well. Was it Pirlo at Juventus? Did he manage at Juventus?
No.
Who was it? They brought somebody in, like a old legend, and he instantly fizzled, and he was there for maybe one season. You have a lot of these like big names, like legends that come to their teams, and I mean Mascherano is up there. Like he had especially the Argentina connection with Messi.
But you can see what Xavi Alonso did with Leverkusen, and he had some coaching experience before that too. Not that much, and Leverkusen that usually you're middle of the table teams to going almost a whole undefeated season.
Yeah.
So
you do have to earn your stripes as a coach. I don't think you can walk into any coaching situation at any level and be like, oh, like I'm gonna have instant success. And for Mascherano and this Messi team, like this is a win now built roster. Like this is not we don't have a 5-year window where okay, we can start to make mistakes here and there, and you'll take your lumps. And it's. To me, that I was a little bit skeptical at the signing, and I think it showed itself a little bit. And I mean, it's not the main reason. I don't think they were outcoached. They were certainly outplayed. And so part of it has to do with the roster, but I think that the manager has a little bit to blame as well. And there are people putting a lot of some fair, some unfair criticism towards Mascherano.
Yeah, I do believe you do need a learning curve, but I believe that curve can a great talent can speed up that curve.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think Miami has the talent to compete and be one of the top tier MLS teams.
They're not
that level.
Yeah, they're not that far ahead. Speaking of coaches and speaking of learning curves or getting used to or having a background and all that, there's been a lot of chatter or buzz around some comments that Bruce Arena made about Mauricio Pochettino and the U.S. men's national team. So I want to read the full quotes that he said. He did it in an interview, I think, with some of the U.S. men's national team guys. So He said, quote, "And I think when you have coaches that don't know our culture, our environment, our players, it's hard. I'm sure our coach is a very good coach, but coaching international football is different than club football. It's a completely different job. And I think when you're a national team coach, you need to know your environment. You need to know the animals you coach, and we're lacking that. If you're an American coaching the U.S. team, you know the culture, you know the pride, and how important the national team is. I think when you bring in somebody from the outside, they don't understand it, especially in our country, because we're so different." End quote. So this was Bruce Arena, again, probably the most accomplished American soccer coach in history. Whether that's saying a lot is another story. Obviously had multiple stints as the U.S. men's national team coach, and to varying levels of success. Most recently, and probably most infamously, was part of that 2018 failure. Now he's with San Jose, found his way back into to MLS. He had a good stint with New England, left that on kind of bad terms. New start with San Jose that's been kind of hit and miss so far. But what are your thoughts on what he has to say? Because whether you agree with it or not, he's coming from a position of a prior experience, one, and two, like a perspective where this is something that he is very qualified to talk about.
What is the U.S. culture?
Okay, good. I'm glad you're getting into this.
Like he is old. He's old U.S. soccer, and he's stuck in that. And that's not even it. The players he was coaching was a lot of MLS players. It was one or two Europeans, or Liga MX players. This is a whole different league. Some of these kids have never played MLS.
Right.
So, like, what culture are you talking about?
Yeah, I
like, what American, like, and it's so dumb because the reason we are in this state with our national team is because these old U.S. soccer players don't want to they want to compare themselves to what it is now, and you can't. Like, you were the leading scorer in MLS. Like, these kids are AC Milan doing good, Juventus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is a dumb.
At face value, what he has to say makes sense. At face value, when you're talking about straight up national team,
yes,
I think for
a
country with an established way of playing,
yes,
and an identity that like a Spain or or an England or the Netherlands, teams
Germany.
where you can like identifiably list how, okay, this is how Spain plays, this is how Italy plays, this is how England plays. They like to do things like this. They have a history of doing things like that. They have a system. They have a youth system that prioritizes a certain style of play, right? From the youth setup all the way to the senior team. They're teaching kids, they're teaching players how to play a certain way so that when it's a coherent like system, right? Whereas U.S. soccer, everything is so new where we're changing our academies. Like a few years ago, it was still the DA or PDA or what was it? I don't even remember.
Academy, so, ECNL, like
exactly.
Coast League, like
so. All of these things are so much in flux that the U.S. doesn't have an established soccer identity. Where, I mean, at best you can say, okay, like we had grit, like we had that dog in us, but that's not a style of play. Right? There isn't, okay, we like to play possession style, we like to play physical, we like to play direct. Like, there is none of that. So what Bruce is saying is, like, it would make sense if we had, like, if a Spanish coach went over to coach the English national team, there would be a lot of differences in culture in terms of understanding the way things are. That would make sense. But
even all right, so like even if the Mexican national team set that up with Tata, like Martino, like that will make more sense than you're saying it about our U.S. national team. How many MLS players do we have in the national team when our European players are there?
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Yeah, right.
Like,
if that,
like, so it just doesn't make sense. It just, like,
but
our soccer is not going to grow with old heads talking about like.
And I don't even think it has to do with MLS or Europe. I think it's just an identity thing.
We don't have an identity.
And you can see that when we play, there is no identity. There is no passion. And I don't think it's on the coach to instill that passion. And
it's a culture. The U.S. like the biggest knock of our U.S. national team right now is like everybody's like, play like you want it. Have a little bit more dog in you. And it's just not it. Like we try to we're still trying to figure it out. Our European players think they're they are better than what they are sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's not a coach thing. It's a culture thing.
Right. And when he says that, like an outside coach, like to insinuate that Mauricio Pochettino doesn't understand how important national team soccer is to Americans is that, I mean, that's a little bit insulting. Like,
first of all,
of course it's important. It's important to everyone. Like, whether you're in Argentina, whether you're in Brazil, whether you're in Kenya or anywhere, like it's gonna be important when you put on the national team jersey. Like it's not unique to American soccer.
The thing is also like some of these coaches from different countries. Brazil, even Ancelotti's rumored to go to Brazil.
Yeah,
he has a great like resume. Like
nobody said anything.
But like
Ancelotti's not Brazilian.
I know U.S. soccer, like our top soccer or more accomplished like Bruce Arena. They have MLS and NCAA experience.
Right.
Like, all right, you won a few D1 titles. Wow, like these guys have won Champions League. So first of all, I don't think we have the coaches. In this country to at a level of a Pochettino right now. So you can make your cases for Bob Bradley, Cherundolo because he played there for so many years. But I don't think we have a soccer mind in the U.S. like a U.S. coach that we're like
an American coach, right? And
Jesse Marsh, like he's in Canada though.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we have.
Well, Jesse Marsh couldn't possibly understand the complexities of Canadian soccer, so I don't think he was the right fit for Canada.
Yeah, and he's doing an amazing job out there.
It's
so
an insane thing to say.
Yeah, I think Bruce Arena is just better. Like ever since the Galaxy, he hasn't found his fit.
Yeah, I mean, his most recent run in New England was pretty good. They set a points record that was since broken. But
I forget Bruce Arenas. No, like the thing is like we don't have the soccer mind or the coaches that we can talk about.
I think, I mean, and then the guys that we have been there and done that, and to middling levels of success. Like it's Bruce Arena and it's Bob Bradley. And then you have, your newer guys, your Jesse Marshes, your Cherundolos, but besides that, it's the same, like, retreaded coaches. So I think bringing in somebody with Pochettino's, like, caliber, with his, like, experience, like, it makes it why wouldn't you want to have a coach?
Yeah, when you like, think of U.S. soccer, it's not like Germany, a well-oiled machine. It's not like a Brazil, Joga Bonito. It's not like Uruguay, La Chara Garua, they're strong-nosed, fighting everything. Yeah. When you think of U.S. soccer, you think about like there's nothing. We don't have an identity.
Grit and grind. I think would probably that's not an identity.
Oh yeah, but we don't have those players no more. We play like that because we had less skilled players playing, and like sometimes you when you don't have skills, you have to be a little mean, a little angry, run a little more. Yeah. But right now we're technical, but we don't know if we want to play more EPL style or more possession style. Right. So we have to figure that as a U.S. soccer prior to.
It goes down to the federation.
Yeah.
And I don't think. I mean, and granted, it hasn't been a lot of time, and you need a lot of time to establish culture and an identity. But this is where we start the foundation, and the foundation needs to be sturdy. You can't build it on sand because, like, if we're looking to. A post 2026, right? 2026 is basically here. We're not building towards that anymore. Now we got to look, to 2030 and beyond, because this is the time to do it, right? And I just don't think that the same ideas over and over and over again, to expect something new to happen and something all of a sudden to materialize and to become like a world power. If that's our ambitions, like we need to change things up a little bit because it hasn't been working.
I think we have an amazing team. We just don't know the team we have yet. I think we're not gonna play no World Cup qualifiers coming up, but I do feel like they should play friendly games with top 10 national team talent or like on that space. So what if we lose? I feel like we're gonna get better. Like these players are so good that they can figure it out to the point where like we might come in 0-7 from these friendlies and have a great paper in the World Cup because these players are gonna see playing against a Uruguay, playing against Argentina, playing against a Germany, Netherlands. Like they played at this level and with their national team. And I think that's what we're missing. We're missing like why you're a U.S. national team player. What does that mean to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, just going back to the, like it has to be the same. you have to be the same nationality as the team you coach for. The national team plays. No one, like Ancelotti is going to Brazil, right? Nobody said a thing about Ancelotti not.
And people are happy about that.
Yeah, people are rejoicing. Like Brazil has not had a top level manager. Like who's their manager right now? Dorival Jr. Do you know who he is? He's Brazilian. That he did not do anything at the Copa America. Like
no. And everybody's saying like they lost their joy of soccer. Ancelotti can bring that joy of Bonito back. Sure,
and then. I think England in their history, they've had a couple of foreign managers that have done actually pretty well. It's England, so like the standards are never going to be reached over there, but they still did pretty well like, compared to their previous managers. I think if you look at some of I think Portugal's had a couple of international managers, so it has happened before, and there has been levels of success. It's rare at the elite level, right? At the elite level, if you're looking at your top 7 like footballing nations, like it's very rare to have a foreign national team manager, but across the board, like even in Uruguay, Marcelo Bielsa, he's Argentinian.
Yeah.
And I get they're neighboring countries, and so they share a lot of cultural similarities, but there's difference. And I just think that it's an outdated thing, especially for a lesser soccer nation like the U.S. is, in terms of history, in terms of status, in terms of titles, to have it need to be an American guy. So I think we can just leave it there. That we talked about that enough.
Yeah, but talking about coaches, like the movement you're hearing for like this upcoming soccer season is crazy. Is it Xabi Alonso to Real Madrid, Ancelotti to Brazil?
Right. There's a big shuffle.
Yeah, Cherundolo to Hannover 96. Good for him. Like I think Cherundolo will be a great, like if we talk about. If you wanted to be an American born player, if you think about like soccer, I think Cherundolo will be great for the U.S. national team because he has that vast experience in Europe. So he knows how from forming out there to playing at the highest level, like he knows how all that works. Plus, now that he has a little stint in MLS, he sees how that MLS guy. I think he will be a perfect fit to be our next U.S. men's national coach.
What do you think about him leaving LAFC though, as an LAFC fan?
I think he's ran his course. He has not done bad, even though he's lost all them finals. Like,
I mean, he won some of them too.
Yeah, to make him there. No, I just think even I raved this about this show before. I think Bob Bradley is probably one of my favorite U.S. coaches ever. He ran his course. Cherundolo came. Sometimes you just need a new voice. Yeah. And LAFC might need a new voice. Thierry Henry.
You've been talking about Thierry.
Hey, bro, I just like love him. Like no lie. Like he's just a goat. Like just like his personality. Growing up with him, but I think going back to the question, I think LAFC is time for a new voice. Somebody that can bring a new little swag to it. We have the players. We have everything. I think they just need a new voice.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, Henry, and I think he's had a checkered history when it comes to managing, like ups and downs.
Yeah.
But didn't
he have the Whitecaps?
No, he had Montreal. Yeah, and he was so. And then he was with Monaco for a little bit. He was an assistant in Belgium. He did the France Olympic
21. Team. Yeah, they lost against Europe. Against Spain.
For the finals?
Yeah.
In the Olympic final? Who won gold in the Olympics?
Was it Argentina? I don't even know, to be honest. All I remember is him dancing, celebrating. They were like, oh.
And it was in Paris, too.
Yeah, so the young guys love him. So I'm thinking
everyone loves Thierry Henry. This was the point I was going to. He just did a interview with Lamine Yamal.
That's so funny.
And, like the respect, the utmost respect that he had for Henry. You had the guy on Panama who ran up to him after they beat the U.S. and he was calling him his idol. So he is just someone that is so well respected in every facet of the game. Like you talk to a lot of Arsenal fans. He's the reason why a lot of Arsenal fans became Arsenal fans. Yeah. Like just the amount of like aura that he had, and the way he played too. Like it's just crazy to think about and see.
Yeah, I remember I couldn't become an Arsenal fan because I was a big Beckham fan, so I became a Man U fan.
Yeah.
But I became a Juventus fan because of Trezeguet which is another his teammate on top. It was Henry and Trezeguet. But I always loved Henry. Like once he went to Barcelona, I was so pissed.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, he should have went to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But like I already knew they were gonna destroy teams because he was that good, man.
Yeah. Talking Real Madrid, Barcelona. We obviously have the Clásico coming up in a couple of weeks.
I'm not watching Real Madrid for the rest of this year, bro.
Madrid, not the season that they planned. I mean,
we're missing a lot of our outside backs are all hurt.
Yeah, right.
It hurts.
Yeah, Carvajal, huge part of the team.
Mendy as well as hurt.
And Carvajal, you look at Carvajal's minutes played between Spain, Real Madrid, going to all these tournaments, like that's a big reason.
Kylian Mbappe numbers.
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah, seriously. But first year of this, new setup, bringing in Mbappe, it hasn't worked out necessarily. I think, especially at the beginning, he's found his way, and I think they've gotten into it. They've gotten into it. Like he's had a lot of high moments this year, but now moving forward, it's the first year's done. They're going to get a new coach next year. Early exit of the Champions League, in pretty bad form. They got their butts kicked by Arsenal. But what do you need to see from this team moving forward? Do you think they can win that
Nothing. Like I don't think it's like this team was the problem. It was just being hurt on your back line. Yeah. You can see Rudiger for the Copa del Rey / Champions against Arsenal. He's wrapping his his hamstrings are all like they're not there. Like he's wrapped like a mummy.
Yeah.
So I don't think like
you're not concerned.
I'm not concerned. The team, we were just struggling in the back line because we didn't have a back line. Everybody was hurt.
Yeah.
We're gonna go get Trent, Alphonso Davies, and we'll be back, yo. It's Real Madrid. Like, we're talking about Barcelona. They can't get their financials right, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona's they're broke, but they're balling.
Yeah, they can have that.
A lot of that has to do with Yamal. Bro, how crazy is that, though?
Bro, he's a great guy. Before we go into Yamal, because we can go for an hour. Yeah. I'm just so happy for my friends that are Barcelona fans. Uh-huh. They're coming out the woodwork. They haven't been winning nothing for like the last 10 years. So I hope they do win the Champions, so they can talk trash for like 6 months until we win it back again.
When was the last Champions League they won?
2015.
Yeah.
Some of these guys had whole other girlfriends, had no kids. Burley was getting the car, and all of a sudden now they're
it's like the LA Galaxy gap, right? 2014
yeah.
to 2024, 2015 to 2025. Just a little decade.
Some of these fans were still in high school trying to graduate college, failing out of college, working at Home Depot. These guys are all of a sudden they want to come out, which is great though. But that's what I like about soccer. Some of these teams just have 1 year opposed to Real Madrid had 3 in a row. Right, but some of these teams have 1 year, and I'm happy they can talk now. They can talk now. It's good for them. But back to Yamal, bro, he is insane. Yeah. It was around the 80th minute. It was 3-3, and then there was a ball coming to him a little bouncy, and he tried to chip it.
I saw that, and off the post.
Going back to that Henry interview, he was like, hey, did you mean to cross it or did you mean to center it? But I was like, no, that
was a shot.
He was a shot.
Yeah.
Man, that guy, I don't know. That guy is.
And
he 17 played 100 games.
I was about to bring that up.
100
games,
minutes
played.
And he's probably the best player in the team.
Yeah. It's wild. I mean, Rafinha's having a great season as well.
Bum. The Barcelona fans didn't want him 2 years ago.
Yeah, right. Okay.
They were asking for his exit. Now
sure.
the guy,
but
baller.
He being this young and having this amount of minutes played, and deep run in the Euros last year, deep run in the Champions League this year. So he's a lot of mileage on that engine. He says he's just 17, but we've seen, Eden Hazard. That was a big case of guy who really made a lot of deep runs, especially with the national team and his club team. Into deep tournaments, when they're really, really young. I think when he was with Lyon, they made a couple of deep tournament runs. So it's something to watch. So by, his age 24 season, which 24 in soccer years is still pretty young, but he's going to have 7 seasons under his belt by then. And with the way he's playing, with the way Barcelona's playing, with the way the Spanish national team is playing, you're going to think that he's going to be getting some major minutes in.
Perfect example, Mbappe. He's 26, has a World Cup already under his belt.
2 finals.
Two finals.
Played in 2 finals.
Yeah. Deep runs, always going to quarters, semifinals. Like
not a Champions League yet.
not
And PSG, if
Oh
PSG
my,
the year he
yo.
leaves PSG, they're balling
I
out
do
without
hope
him.
they do win it though. I do hope they do win it. PSG deserves it. PSG or Arsenal, and they're both in one bracket, but I feel like those two teams like deserve it just because history hasn't gone their way. But going back to Yamal, like that guy is just 17. At 17, I was trying to find a way to cheat from my homework, cheat on tests.
Yeah, the athleticism that he possesses at that age, like it's. I mean, in soccer, it's a little
But
bit
he
different.
doesn't even have a man's body yet.
No, he doesn't. But the way he moves on the ball, like it's different. It's just different the way he moves on the ball versus anybody else.
Yeah, and he's not a short player, so it's not like Messi. He has all the Messi attributes.
And he's like
5
inches taller.
Yeah, like 5'9", 5'11". Like he's I don't know if he's even 6 foot. Like he reminds me of a Zidane. Like Zidane, how smooth he was, and still with a tall frame. So
Right.
I think it sucks. I think Barcelona's gonna be good for a long time, just because all their players are like under 23, under 24, and
They have to be. They have to be. They
Yeah,
can't pay. They can't pay
no
anybody else.
Brokies. No, but like their team is just all their young players are just all amazing players, and they're playing really well. If nobody gets injured, they're gonna be good for a long, long time.
Yeah. So this episode will air next Tuesday, and it'll be the second leg of the Champions League finals.
Yeah, Inter's gonna win 2-0.
So who do you got?
Inter, for sure.
You got Inter.
PSG.
on one. Inter and PSG.
Oh, I don't know. I do want a comeback story from Arsenal. I don't care who wins from that side.
But make a pick. Yeah. Just Inter.
Yeah, because I've been an Inter fan since I was a young kid. Chino Recoba, Zlatan, Cordova, Zanetti. I'm telling you, his real names, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
El Chino Recoba was one of my favorite players
Yeah,
growing up.
yeah.
My cousin used to wear number 20 all the time because of Chino Recoba.
Yeah, you know,
You're a
you're always
Whitecat.
talking about those the Mourinho treble year.
Yeah,
you're always talking about
Zlatan.
that. Yeah.
Zlatan when he played for a good team.
Was Vieira? Vieira was.
Vieira was
yeah.
there. I still remember that. I think his name is Stoikovic or something like that.
Uh-huh.
The goalie cleared the ball. It's probably one of the top 10 Champions League goals ever. Goalie clears the ball. He gets it from 45 yards out, volley, goal. Tell you, man,
Inter, so it's an icon.
Inter fan. I remember R9. I was an Inter fan since I was a baby, bro.
Yeah.
And then I hate Barcelona.
That's it. Okay, so you got Inter on one side, but you got to make a pick. PSG, Arsenal. Who you going through?
Damn. I loved how Dembele played until he got hurt last game.
Yeah.
Dude,
PSG.
If Dembele can just stay healthy, probably top 3 players in the world.
That front three though, also with Doué on one side and Barcola on the other, that they were, and I hated that it was against Arsenal because I'm an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
But dude, they were tearing us up.
You know, I want PSG because Saka was out here. The amount of trash talking he did to Real Madrid.
Well, okay.
PSG Inter final. That's it.
Okay, PSG Inter. I'm going with my heart. I do think that PSG has. They played a much better game, and
Dembele. Is Dembele gonna play?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a big question mark. Arsenal has a couple of guys out as well, so there's that too. But I'm going with my heart. I'm gonna say Arsenal is gonna make a little comeback. Park the Prince.
That'd be great. I'll enjoy that.
2-0 there, and then I mean Inter has been very hit and miss lately. They've played extremely well throughout the whole entire year.
Bro,
Bad loss to AC Milan in the Derby della Madonnina.
But they were saving themselves for Barcelona.
I agree with you. Basically, I think they've all but wrapped up the Serie A. I think they're close with Napoli. I think them and Napoli are at the top.
Let Napoli take it, get a Champions.
Yeah. At this point, right? They won, I think, 2 years ago, or last year. They won last year. So, I think it's going to be Barcelona. I think it's going to be Barcelona in the San Siro. The San Siro is not an easy place to play at, but I do think they're going to pull through, and I think it's going to be a Barcelona-Arsenal. Just because you're going the other two.
Yeah. No, but I think
it'll be the Thierry Henry derby.
Yeah, no, but the thing with Inter, I think Inter is like the perfect team to give Barcelona a struggle because they have two
defensively,
because they have really two to the back strong forwards that have height. Barcelona can't really defend like height.
Yeah.
That was it. The second goal where he did like a little bicycle kick last game.
Crazy.
I lost my.
That was one of the best games I've watched in a minute. Like I don't think it was in the middle of the day. You know, you're just like slacking off work and you're watching.
I was not slacking off work. I was actually at work. I was in the office that day.
Yeah.
And literally, like I'm sending an email. I probably like had to put it on ChatGPT to make sure I didn't misspell it.
Sure.
So like as I'm writing it, I see. I'm like no. I see the header back in the middle, and then he just. I thought that, to be honest, I thought they were gonna call it back because one of the defenders put like I forgot it was almost I don't know what it was. Put their head in the way, so I'm like, it's Barcelona. They know how to cheat. They're gonna call it back.
Yeah, right.
But no, it was. I think it's a beautiful. It was an amazing game. I think it's gonna be an amazing matchup.
It's gonna be.
So yeah, it's gonna be fireworks. So that's a game that you're not gonna want to miss.
Yeah, the first one was as good as it was. Round 2 is gonna be even better.
Yeah.
Same thing with I mean it was a less higher scoring game, but that PSG Arsenal game was really, really well contested throughout. So I think I'm really excited for these finals or semifinal matches.
That PSG game though, after Dembele, like it was not as that dynamic. From both sides as it was because Dembele was going one-on-one on everybody.
He's really turned things around.
Yeah.
Didn't have the Barcelona run that he maybe wanted, but
he was hurt to me sometimes.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. Anything else? Should we wrap things up?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just ready to go see these games. All this soccer coming up, this Club World Cup. I'm already getting a little anxious now. Like I didn't want to go to none of the games. Now I'm trying to see if I can find some cheap tickets to some of these games.
Yeah. It's gonna be a busy summer.
Yeah.
We're wrapping things up for the 24-25 season. So exciting times to be in the soccer world.
We're Yahoo featured now. Like this is cool for y'all. To be honest.
Shouts to One Football. Shouts to Yahoo Sports. You can check us out on both sites now for the One Football platform. So this has been another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, a beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. For Julio Monterosa, I'm Ramsey Abushala. We'll see you next week.